Welcome all, Bradford here, and this is Dragon Age Inquisition on the Xbox One. Now I'm playing this via the Dragon Age trial thanks to EA Access on Xbox One. EA Access is only available on Xbox One. It's essentially a subscription-based service where you can get access to games in the EA Vault, you get discounts on EA titles on the Xbox Store, and you get access to new releases a couple days in advance. You get about 6 hours of game time, and then the game will officially unlock, the launch day. Now, we talked a little bit about my gameplay impressions on Gaming the Industry this week, which records live every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/gamingtheindustry. You can also search Gaming the Industry on Stitcher and iTunes, and you'll find it there. I'm impressed by the game. The game is fun. I don't have any clue what's going on story-wise, but it is a little disappointing in some aspects visually. For instance, the foliage here. The foliage just does not look good. The shadows don't look good. The textures don't look good, and that could be because it's an upscale to 900p as opposed to running at native 1080p. Normally, I don't care about that kind of thing, but it's so noticeable that even someone like me who doesn't know graphical things normally is able to see it plain as day. Now, the inside of this church looks great, but I do notice a lot of things in the cutscenes. I do notice a lot of things while navigating the world, and it normally wouldn't bother me, but it's so glaring, especially because when I saw this at E3 back in June, I sat in a 30-plus minute gameplay demo, and I didn't see any of this. And I don't know if that's because maybe it was running on the PC, maybe that particular vertical slice that we saw was just better optimized at the time. I don't know, but I just wasn't expecting to see it on, at least to this degree, on this system this close to launch. Visually, the game is great for the system, though. I mean, it looks good, albeit a little glossy on some of the metal textures and stuff like that, but otherwise, normally, I would say I wouldn't mind, but I don't know. It's just when I saw it at E3 and I'm seeing it now, the E3 demo that I watched just looked much better. That being said, you won't be disappointed by the game. The game definitely looks great. It definitely handles well on the console as well. Voice acting is superb. The facial animations, they're not Rise Son of Rome quality, but they're very good. The characters are believable. I wish I knew the story. I wish I knew what was going on. I really haven't played any of the Dragon Age games leading up to this, and definitely something I'm going to have to do before I go back and purchase this game. Now, if I decide to purchase the game, it will be on PC, and the biggest reason for that is because of the control scheme with the tactical combat overview. With this game, you have the ability to switch on the fly between active combat and tactical combat, and I prefer to be able to kind of scope the battlefield first, set up the first oncoming attacks, and then go from there essentially. And you can do that in this game. I don't like the way that the camera is controlled in that view. It's all controlled using the right thumbstick, and we're talking both the camera angle, the camera distance, the pitch. Everything is controlled with that right thumbstick, and sometimes, especially if you're in an enclosed area, like if you're inside a cave or inside a building, it really doesn't lend itself well to being the primary way to do your combat. So personally, when I decide to purchase this game, which won't be at launch, it'll be down the road, and that's not indicative of the game. That's indicative of my gaming budget, unfortunately. It will be on PC, because I want that mouse-keyboard experience for that style of combat. I hope that there's going to be a feature where you can kind of switch between the two control schemes on the fly, so I can use the gamepad for everything else, and then when I switch to tactical, I can switch to mouse and keyboard. I do enjoy the mechanics overall. It's very much a BioWare game. As you can see, you've got many different conversation topics, conversation avenues you can go down. Your characters will either approve or disapprove of what your course of action is, and you can, even in this first hour of playing the game and not really having played the Dragon Age series extensively, you can already sense that your actions are going to shape the greater world around you. which I think is great. It's very indicative and very much a hallmark of BioWare-made games, going all the way back to, you know, the KOTOR games, the Mass Effect games. Jade Empire had some elements of it as well. Very, very good so far. And again, I'm only about an hour into the game. I have 6 hours of gameplay. I'm not going to sit there and exhaust them in one sit through, just partly because I don't have 6 hours to sit through it all the way. I don't have that kind of time, and I want to play it for as long as I can until I have to buy the game, you know. So if you have any qualms about picking this game up, you know, pick it up. If you can pick it up on PC, great. If you have an Xbox One, you're not going to be disappointed, even with the graphical issues that I'm kind of pointing out, I'm seeing myself. It's not really deterring me from playing the game. I'm still finding a lot of enjoyment out of the game. That being said, if you have a more powerful system, your experience will be better. But especially in these kind of cutscenes right here, you're not noticing all of the jaggies as much, except for, you know, when foliage comes into play here. But otherwise, you know, the experience is going to be great no matter which system you get it on, especially if you're a Dragon Age fan and you are already looking forward to this game in the series. If you have pre-ordered it, normally I say don't pre-order, but I think this is one title where you're not going to be disappointed by the performance once you get your hands on the game come the 18th. So thanks for hanging out with me, thanks for watching, guys, and I really appreciate it. I'll have some more videos before my 6-hour time is up, so I'll go a little bit more in depth in some things at that point. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at LOTRlore, or you can hit me up on YouTube, youtube.com/LOTRlore. Thanks again, and Namarie.